Love Goes by Sam Smith. Hey Sam, I actually have a message for you. How fucking dare you? Okay? I, you know, the fucking last thing I wanted to do on Friday morning when I heard this album was fucking cry and want to feel so depressed and feel all these sad emotions that I didn't want to feel in the first place. People have been wondering, lately who hurt you, why are you so sad lately? Listen to this fucking album and you'll understand why. Now, I actually stopped listening to Sam Smith for a while, and it's not because I thought that their music was trash, I actually really love their music a lot. I think Sam Smith is a really great singer, I think that everything they do is just really great, they achieve it well, their craft is just really fucking amazing. But the reason why I stopped hearing their music is because a lot of their songs just relate too much to me. They're very sad. They relate too much to me. The first few singles that they dropped, like back when they first blew up, they were really hard for me to listen to because it's exactly how I fucking feel. And this project is definitely no different because holy shit, did this project make me depressed as fuck, okay? Like, I went to work a few hours later after hearing this album and I was just fucking sad because this album just fucking broke me, y'all. As you all know, there have been a number of, pop albums that have broke the fuck out of me. And this one is a very close runner up to, a pop album that made me want to fucking cry. Now, as you all know, Sam Smith has written songs about heartbreak back in the past. It's what put them on the map back in 2014 when In the Lonely Hour came out. That album is super fucking phenomenal, contains a lot of great songs like Stay With Me, Lay Me Down, I'm Not the Only One. That album was just a beautiful start to Sam Smith's career because, they just showed up out of nowhere when this album came out and people were just, wondering who is Sam Smith and why do we want to hear more by them. However, this album has definitely proved to me and to pretty much everybody that Sam Smith has not only evolved as a person, but as an artist, because I can obviously tell that this is a very different Sam Smith, than the one we got back in 2014, especially for me as somebody who hasn't heard anything from Sam Smith, since 2014, I didn't hear their second album that came out after In the Lonely Hour. So, I was very, very lost and I just really wasn't paying that much attention to what Sam Smith was making. And holy shit, I'm really pissed off that I haven't been hearing a lot of their music because this album just turned out to be super fucking great. So I always believed that Sam Smith was a really great singer. It always made me kind of jealous because I wish I had that kind of voice, but that's just God given talent right there. But in this album, I can obviously tell that they have been improving on their vocals and just their overall craft. Sam Smith, went from doing, just this sort of same, basic poppy shit to this overall very diverse, just like an overall diverse style, if that makes sense. Sam Smith includes a lot of, vulnerable moments throughout this whole album as they create a very heartbreaking narrative of having to see the person that you have lost, be happy with somebody else. And, just overall trying to cope with the idea that, somebody that has meant the world to them is now gone and they now have to accept that it just wasn't meant to be. I personally think that this album is very relatable just to anybody in general. I think we've all gone through heartbreaks before. I, personally went through one a couple weeks ago. I'm not gonna say their names because, at least they were straight up with me. But, I've been kind of a big emotional mess throughout all of October. And, I guess Sam Smith wanted to really break my fucking heart because this album fucking did it for me. It was almost the end of October. I was gonna be like, well, hopefully November is gonna be better. And then I heard this album and I was like, Sam Smith knows what the fuck I'm going through. They fucking have a camera in my life or some shit because why did every song on here just really fucking relate to everything I was going through last month. But what I really like about this project is, Sam Smith obviously wanted to make their third studio album, something special and something everyone is going to remember for a long time. Because they don't stick to just one certain, topic and one certain sound, they just add a lot of diverse to this whole album for anybody to enjoy. Even if you're not a really big fan of pop, just like me, I've said many times that pop music is something that, I don't really listen to it in my spare time. But you know, shit like this is the good shit. Like this is the kind of pop music that I wish would get, you know, more popular, and I wish that I would hear more of. I do love that although the album does start off at a very dark tone, you know, and you know the first half of this album is super depressing and just, you know, very sad in general. You know, a lot of very sad lyrics and just, you know, a very sad tone. I do love that towards the end of the album, Sam Smith does realize that, you know, in every dark moment of your life, there's always light at the end of the tunnel, as they finally come to learn to cope with the fact that they did lose somebody that they really loved, but that they also, you know, finally have found a way to love themselves, which I think is something that we all need. You know, even though you went through a heartbreak, or you know, somebody that you like didn't like you back, you know, love is never a bad thing. You know, there's always self-love, you know, there's always love towards other friends. You know, just always like know that love is something that should never be hated on, and should never be something that you don't believe in, because it is the only thing that doesn't hurt you. And yes, I know it's very ironic coming from the most stubborn asshole in the world when it comes to this love shit, but you know what, this album, you know, like kind of like push it into perspective. So yeah, definitely thank Sam Smith for that. And although the guest list on here is really small, I do think they do contribute very well to what Sam Smith was trying to accomplish throughout this whole album. You know, for example, like I said, the first half of this album is this very like dark and, you know, just very sad tone, and you know, they made a lot of great R&B like vibes with, you know, Burna Boy and Labyrinth. You know, they contributed very well to this very like dark and creepy like R&B atmosphere. You know, I really appreciated that. And then towards the end of the album, where Sam Smith is trying to find the light at the end of the tunnel, they create these really great like very catchy glossy pop vibes with Demi Lovato and Normani. So yeah, they definitely did contribute very well to what Sam Smith was trying to accomplish. And yeah, I definitely really did enjoy the guest list on here. But besides the great features, Sam Smith is definitely the main attraction throughout this whole album, as they create probably one of the best pop albums I've heard all fucking year. You know, I think this album is really great. My favorite track on here is actually the song Another One. That one is just really fucking sad. You know, like Sam Smith trying to cope with the fact that, you know, the person they once loved have finally found happiness and love with somebody else. And although you really fucking hate it and don't like it, you come to realize that, you know, that you just gotta be happy for them, and you know, be happy that they have found their happiness, and you know, now it's up to us to find our own happiness. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed that track, and I just enjoyed, you know, every track on here in general. You know, there's not a single bad track on here, and I definitely recommend this album to each and every one of you, unless you don't want to cry and be depressed all day, because I promise you, like, it is going to happen. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed my review. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click that bell down below, all that good stuff, and don't forget to stay happy.
Oh, congratulations, you found the one, you found the one. I think I can finally face